I had just gotten pregnant, then my husband died in an accident. While I was mourning him, a stranger suddenly appeared behind me.
Excuse me, ma'am. I have a proposition for you. I know it's not the right place or the right time, but I figure if we marry, it'll help solve both our problems.
Nick was a widower. He wanted his 9-year-old daughter to have a mother. That was why he took a chance and proposed to me. I had always been an artistic city girl. I came here from the big city. I was excited about starting a new life. My husband and I planned to build a happy family here, but he went after a runaway horse and died in the process. Pregnant and alone, I felt helpless. I had no house that could keep me warm through winter, and I had no money to travel home the following year. Nick's proposal seemed like my only chance to survive.
I know it's not the perfect solution, but when the wagon train heads back east in the spring, I'll pay the passage so you can go home.
I struggled to make a decision, but I had to think about my baby. I also wanted to fulfill my husband's last wish. In the end, I accepted Nick's proposal. Just like that, we walked into a church and had a simple wedding. But when Nick held my hand, I became tense and uncomfortable. I was still thinking about my late husband. There was no love in this marriage. The ceremony ended as quickly as it had begun. His daughter rejected me from the start. To her, I was a mother who had appeared out of nowhere. When we arrived at Nick's house, he gave me his room. I wanted no unnecessary contact with him, so I quietly went inside and closed the door. I curled up in a corner and cried. Late that night, my eyes were still filled with tears. It was not until noon the next day that I finally opened the door.
I've never seen nobody sleep so long.
I had barely become a stepmother, and his daughter gave me quite a welcome. Nick thoughtfully took Maisie out to buy food. He wanted to give me some time alone. By then, I was starving. I could not stop myself from eating as fast as I could. After lunch, I went outside and sat on the swing. The sunlight was unusually bright, but I still could not stop missing my husband. I cried all day. By the time night fell and Nick and Maisie came home, I was still crying beside the bed.
Is she alright?
But she will be.
Fortunately, time slowly eased the pain. Eventually, I learned to hide my grief. I put on a pretty dress. Maisie mocked me again.
Seems like you got an awful lot of fancy things that aren't good for much in
We fetched your wagon for you yesterday when we brought it into the barn.
But Nick's thoughtful care made me feel warm. He had recovered my wagon. He also planned to build me a bookshelf. Our marriage existed only on paper, so I asked Nick what he expected me to do. He took me outside the barn. He looked at Maisie working nonstop. Then he told me she was already 9 years old and started working at sunrise every day.
Some of the things I think you could teach her. Things she'd learned from her mother.
I agreed to help, but I had grown up in the city. I knew nothing about farm work. I could not collect eggs from the chicken coop. I could not milk a cow either. Maisie could not understand why Nick had married someone as useless as me, so she deliberately threw cow manure at me. She only meant it as a joke, but when I told her she had to obey me, things became tense again.
I don't want to be here either. The fact of the matter is I made a bargain with your father and I intend to keep my end of that bargain even if you do everything short of trying.
That argument turned us completely against each other. At dinner that night, the tension at the table was just as bad, but early the next morning, I realized Maisie was missing. I rushed around looking for her. I finally found her in the barn. She was trapped on the roof and too scared to come down. There was a skunk on the ground. It looked harmless, but if anything startled it, it would immediately release its smell. I slowly reached out my hand. Then the dog suddenly ran inside. It accidentally startled the skunk. I sat in the bathtub, enduring the horrible smell. Maisie used tomatoes to remove it. Most of the odor came off, but when Nick returned that evening, he could still smell the strong scent. I thought that little disaster might improve our relationship, but we still could not get along. Every day we were either arguing or about to start another argument.
Hope you can make something better than burnt pancakes.
I refused to let fried chicken defeat me. I found a recipe for it. Then I spent a long time catching a chicken. By the time Nick and Maisie came home, I proudly showed them the fried chicken I had made. That night, I was taking a bath. The room was completely dark. Nick walked in without knowing I was there. After spending several days together, Maisie started to see me differently. We finally managed to get along. For the first time, she mentioned her late mother. The next day, I noticed that Nick went out alone every day. I was curious about where he went. I wanted to follow him and find out, but the autumn wind made me shiver, so I gave up. When I returned to the house, I saw Maisie tightly holding her mother's dress and crying. Seeing her grief hurt me. I raised my hand to cover my mouth, but I was too late to stop myself from making a sound. Maisie noticed me. She thought I had deliberately invaded her privacy. She felt humiliated.
I didn't mean to be there.
Don't say that! You don't know nothing!
I do want to help you.
I don't want your help!
The maternal feelings I had just begun to develop were crushed in an instant. I felt insulted. I wanted to leave immediately, but Nick stood in my way.
That little girl hates me.
I know you can find a way to get through to her.
His trust calmed me down. I decided to care for that poor child, in my own way. By the next morning, I had made a beautiful dress. Maisie's face lit up with surprise. It was the best gift she had ever received. That long overdue affection finally removed the barrier between us. We rode in the wagon to a gathering at our neighbor's house. Maisie saw the surprise on her friends' faces. For the first time, she knew what it felt like to be admired. On the way home, she fell asleep against my shoulder. Suddenly, the wagon jolted. I quickly protected my stomach. I had never told Nick I was pregnant. I explained that I had not meant to hide it from him, but Nick only smiled. He was happy that we would have a child. His patience and kindness deeply moved me. From that day on, our family life gradually settled into place. Then I saw Nick leave for another walk by himself, so I secretly followed him. Under the blue sky, Nick was singing with deep emotion. He was expressing how much he missed his late wife. At first I thought he was singing to me. I could not help feeling quietly pleased. But when I heard the lyrics clearly, I realized he was singing about his late wife, so I quietly walked away. On my way home, I unexpectedly found the missing horse. The memories came rushing back. I walked over to the horse. All the grief I carried for my husband poured out, but winter came quickly in the west. One moment, snowflakes were drifting down. The next, a blizzard had taken over.
She won't walk about when you do.
Nick realized something was wrong. He immediately rushed into the storm. The snow blocked his vision. Every second mattered. The longer I remained outside, the greater the danger became. Fortunately, Nick managed to find me. He carried me in his arms and struggled back toward the house. We eventually made it home safely, but I was still unconscious. Nick stayed beside us all night. The next morning, I finally woke up. Nick's love was not about possession. He protected me and stayed by my side. As time passed, the bond between Nick and me grew stronger. We waited for the baby to arrive. On Christmas Day, Nick wanted to surprise me. He had built a crib with his own hands. Time passed quickly. My due date finally arrived. Maisie waited anxiously outside the room. The baby was a boy. His arrival brought light and endless joy and hope to our family. It also meant spring was approaching, but even then, neither of us admitted how we felt. Then one day, our neighbors suddenly came to visit. The woman saw what I was struggling with. She told me not to let the pain of the past keep me from the happiness I had now. Her words made me think back on everything Nick and I had been through. He had become the most important person in my life, so I wrote him a letter. I placed it inside one of his books. I waited for his response, but the letter accidentally fell out. Nick never saw it. On the day I left, my eyes revealed how deeply I cared for him. Nick wanted to say something, but in the end, he held back. I left with the wagon train. When Nick returned home, he was devastated. He dropped to his knees and prayed. Then he lowered his head and finally noticed the letter. Only then did he realize how I felt. He immediately mounted his horse and raced after me.